This is a view of delegates attending COP27 in Sharm El Sheikh, Egypt. Many countries in Africa have experienced flooding due to unusually heavy rains as well as droughts, particularly in the Horn of Africa. Sophie Mokoena compiled this report from Sharm El Sheikh.
Sending a strong message to the world leaders. The time is running out. The Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, has called for a bold action to address the challenges of climate change. Adaptation to climate change is critical, particularly for the agricultural sector.
What stands out for the parliamentary delegation is to see the diverse views around especially the funding mechanism for the developing countries. We must recall that at previous COPs, the developing world made commitments that they would contribute up to 100 billion rand or dollars per year to mitigate and to provide assistance for countries who are really bearing the brunt of climate change, and that is not happening. So it's very interesting for us to talk to legislators from those countries to hear what the problem is, because the governments made commitments and they cannot keep it.
The importance of the summit is that we as the world have realized the danger that climate change is bringing to our human folk. So we need to share good practices and find ways of how to deal with the man-made problem that we have of climate change. So that is the purpose of us coming together, to share good practices, to discuss on how to mitigate against the situation that we ourselves as the human folk have caused.
What we are engaging on are different aspects ranging from the issues of adaptation, the issues of climate change, the issues of just transition, but also the issues of finance, which are very, very important for any developing country like South Africa to get on and get some assistance and know-how to get to those financial aids that are there, because they are there, they are being presented. But as South Africa, it's important that we also know and learn as MPs that these issues are being handled in different manner, in different ways in other countries.
The most important thing about adaptation is that the people who are truly experiencing the pains and the effects of climate change are the ones that are being left behind and not spoken to. And I think we need to go to ordinary people in the communities, in our villages, in our towns, and experience and learn what their experiences are in terms of the effects of climate change. They're the ones that are most affected by climate change. They pay higher prices for food that they can ill afford already, and it's going to get even worse.
Pay your climate debt! Pay your climate debt! Pay your climate debt!
And now it's about time for industrial countries like the United States and Europe and China to start participating in adaptation and mitigation for climate change issues, and also for international organizations to start funding and financing projects, especially to Africa, because we are talking here that we are the most affected continent from climate change, and yet we are not implementing or not producing any of the carbon emission as regards to the participation as a country. So we are having a lot of problems. Things like that should be taken in consideration from financing organizations from big countries, and I think this is what we're looking for as an implementation of this COP27.
I'm very proud that we recently launched a project under the SEEDS program, Sustainability, Exploration and Environmental Data Science, with the ARC Research Center in South Africa, which is working with the agriculture community and smallholder farmers. At the moment, we are looking to predict the weather and forecast the weather so that we can empower smallholder farmers so that they can make better and informed decisions on how to build their crops to make them more resilient. We're also going to be monitoring for any hazards and other impacts of weather on community and land and crop cover so that we can support the African community with adaptation.
South Africa has called for a just energy transition as a way of addressing the issue of clean energy. Sophie Mokoena, Sharm El Sheikh, Egypt.